Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in Python Django web framework how to get the checked radio button ID or value using JavaScript. Now let's check the final output. Now let's select the blue. I want to display the value blue color. Click. See here the checked radio value is blue. If I select black, click. See here we got black. If I want to display orange, I have selected orange here. Click. See the checked radio value is orange. Suppose if I want to display the IDs of the selected color name. So here instead of color name I am adding ID. The column name we have to add. Let's save all. Save this file. We'll check the output. I'm reloading the browser. Now I'm selecting pink. Click. See here the checked radio value is 6. If you check, the pink ID is 6. If I select blue, click, is 3. Gray, we got 2. The ID value is 2. That's it. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in Python Django web framework, first we'll check the table and the column name I want to bind to the radio button control. I just logged into my PHP MyAdmin database. The table I'm using colors, which contains 2 columns, ID and color name. Now my aim is I want to bind this color name column into a radio button control in Django using Python. So let's write the coding part. Before creating a new project in Django web framework, first we'll create a new folder in local disk D drive. Right click the mouse, new, select folder, and the folder name is RB color is a folder name. Let's browse the folder. Right now this folder contains empty. Now let's create a new application in Django web framework into this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to write the Python programming. First we'll add our project. Go to file, click open folder. The folder I have created in the local disk D drive, and the folder name is RB color. Let's select the RB color, select folder. And here the folder is added to our Explorer, and in the right side there is a welcome page. Let's close this one. Right now this folder contains empty. Let me minimize. See, expanding the folder. Now let's create a new Django application in this folder. Go to view, select terminal, and see here we got the command prompt, which is the terminal, and notice the path is RB color, which is our folder name in the D drive. So first, to create a project, use a Django -admin start project, and the project name is color select is my project name. Application name, click enter, and see here the color select application is added to our folder. Let me expand this color select application, and notice there is one subfolder called color select and one manage.py, which is a Python file. Let me expand this color select subfolder also, and there are some default Python files are added automatically when I created this color select application. So after creating the application, now let's add a new template folder to our application. Select the application name, right click the mouse, new folder, and the folder name I am adding templates. Now in this templates folder I am adding the HTML pages. Right click the templates folder, select new file, and the file name is index.html. And here we got our index.html page. Now let's add some HTML5 coding part. Doc type. Let's close the HTML tag. Now inside this HTML, I'm adding the header section. Now in this header section, I'm adding the title, T-I-T-L-E, title. And the title is get the check value or ID of the radio button. After the header section, I'm adding the body tags. Inside this body, let's add the headings for H1, get the check value or ID of the radio button element. And second header using Python Django let's add here JavaScript. Now after the heading tags, I'm adding the horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I'm adding one simple radio button element. Input type is equals to radio. I'm closing the radio button. The values we are getting from this colors table. So we need to connect the database first. Let me first save this file, save all. Select the subfolder. I click the mouse, click new file. Let's add the models.py, which is a Python file. And here we got the models.python file is added. We'll add first the models class. We'll import the models class from django.db import models. Now let's create a class in this models folder, models file, class eval models call dot model. After that, I'm adding semicolon. Now in this class, I'm defining the properties. In my table, we have two columns, ID and color name. So I'm adding the color name property only. So color name is equals to models, color name is equals to models dot char field max underscore length is equals to 100. After that, I'm defining another class. I'm creating another class to define my table. So another class is a meta class. db underscore table is equals to, between double quotes, let's add our table name. The table name is a colors. Let's copy the colors table and add here. Let's save this file, save all. Now we require the views page to write the logic. Again, select the subfolder, right click the mouse, click new file. The file name is views.py. Now in this views.py, the Python file, first will import the classes from django.shortcuts import. I'm adding the render class. This render class is used to render our HTML pages on the browser. So next we require our models folder and the class name. So again, from this models folder is in the color select. So add the color select dot models import. I'm importing the class name from this models page. The color class name is a COL. Let's copy that one and paste here. After that, let's define the function colors name. Colors name is a function name. Add the request colon. Now this function return render. I'm rendering request comma. The second parameter I'm adding our index.html page, my HTML page, index.html comma, and the third one this property name from this class. So let's define a result is equals to COL this class name dot objects dot all method. So let's add this result in this render method. Between double quotes we need to add the curly braces first because it's a dictionary. Between double quotes I'm adding my class name colon, then add the result, this variable here. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. Now the next step, we need to configure our URLs. So open the urls.py. In the urls.py, notice the URL patterns contains the default URL, which is the admin. Our home page is the admin. So now I don't require, so I'm commenting with the hash. Let's add our path, our path name. Between single quotes I'm adding this index.html page we are getting from this views page. So let's import from dot import views, and in the path views dot this function name. That's it. Configure the URL also. Let's save this file. Save all. Now the most important step, we need to configure our database connection string in the settings.py page. Let's open settings.py. In the settings.py, come to the bottom, notice the install applications. So first we need to install our application. Here our application name is a color select. So let's add color select application name. And the next step, come to the bottom. In the templates we need to render our HTML pages, we need to add the base directory os.path.join. I'm joining base directory basc_dir comma, between single quotes I'm adding my folder name templates. That's it. Next, the databases. Notice in these databases the default settings for the SQLite 3. So here I'm using MySQL PHP MyAdmin database. So instead of SQLite 3, I'm adding MySQL, and the name attribute, I'm deleting this default line, and the name here, our database name, let's add that one. Database name is a sample DB. Let's add that one, sample DB, and the third attribute is a user. Our username is the root. Fourth one is a password colon. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my PHP MyAdmin database. If you have any password, please enter that one. And after that, I'm adding the host. Host is a local host. And the next one, the port number also be required. The port number of our database, the MySQL port number is 3306. Let's add that one. Put in single quotes 3306, and the last attribute I'm adding the options colon, between curly braces I'm adding single quotes init underscore command colon, between double quotes I'm setting SQL mode is equals to, between single quotes add strict underscore trans underscore tables. That's it. We have configured our database connection strings in this settings.py. Let's save this file, save all. Now the final step, open index.html. We need to add the column names here. After the HR, I'm adding the for loop between curly braces, percentage for loop for the result in the color names we are getting from this class. The column name I want to bind the color names, so I'm adding the class name here. Now after the radio button element, I'm closing the for loop, percentage and for. Now let's add between curly braces, double curly braces, I'm adding result dot the color name. Our column name is a color name, so let's add that one, color name. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. Now let's run the server. That's it. We have done complete coding part. Now we need to run the server. First we need to add our project name after the folder. So cd, the application name is color select, enter. Now before on the server, let's install pip install MySQL client, enter. Notice we got a message, the requirement already satisfied, which means the MySQL client package has been installed successfully to our project. Now let's run the server. To run the server, use Python manage.py. This Python manage.py file name here, add run server, enter. So here after I run the server, we don't find any issues to our application, and this is our server name URL. Control plus click to run the server, and here we got the output of that HTML page. Notice the header tags h1 h2, after that horizontal line, and below the horizontal line we have added the radio button element, which contains the values, the color names, orange, gray, blue, white, black, pink, yellow. See? Yeah. Now the second step, when a user checks any particular radio button value, I want to display on the browser. For example, if a user select white, click the button control, I want to get the selected value, the checked value. So for that I'm using JavaScript. Again switch to the coding part. First, after for loop, I'm adding a simple button control. Input type is equals to submit, and value is the click. Let's close the button control, save the file, save all. Let's check the button control is added or not. I'm reloading the browser. See, here we got the button control. Now the next step, if you notice, when a user checks any particular radio button, see it's selecting all the radio button values. Now let's make them to select only the single radio button. So for that, let's add in the radio button element name property is equals to, let's give the color. You can give any name here to this name property. Then save this file, save all. Now I'm reloading the browser. Now let's select this time in black. Again I'm selecting RNC. Now user can select only one radio button. Now the final step, when a user checked any particular radio button, I want to display that value here on the browser. For example, if a user checked the black and click the button control, I want to display the message that checked radio button value is black. So let's try the coding part in JavaScript. So after the button control, I am adding a B tag, bold tag, to display the message. Let's give some style for this bold tag. Color colon. I want to display the message in the green color. So after that, let's add the JavaScript in the header section. Add script. Now inside the script, I'm adding the JavaScript type. Type is equals to text slash JavaScript. Now in the script, let's add the function. Function name is a color. COL names is a function name. Now between this function curly braces, when a user selects a particular radio value I want to display, so for that I'm displaying the another variable display is equals to document dot query selector. In the query selector function, I am adding the input element. Input, this one is the single quotes. Input. Now I am adding the square brackets. So in the square brackets, I am adding the input radio name is equals to color. The name property I am adding, we don't require any here. Just add simple color. Colon check. Dot value, that value I want to display. Radio ID, selected color, name, document dot query selector, Now in this query selector, between double quotes, I am adding this selector name, the B tag, bold tag ID. In JavaScript, when we are adding the control IDs, we need to prefix with hash, then dot to display the message text content. C is capital here. The text content I want to display in this bold tag between single quotes. The checked radio value is plus the value we are getting from this color display. Let's add this one here, color display, and with the semicolon. That's it. The JavaScript functionality we have added. Now the final step, we need to add this function name to the button click event. The event name is on click event is equals to, between double quotes I am adding the function name. Now here I forgot, we need to add the value, the selected value. this one, result.color name. Copy this one and paste here. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. We'll check the final output. Now let's check the final output. Now let's select the blue. I want to display the value blue color. Click. See here the checkered radio value is blue. If I select black, click. See here we got black. If I want to display orange, I have selected orange here. Click. See the checkered radio value is orange. Suppose if I want to display the IDs of the selected color name. So here instead of color name I am adding ID. The column name we have to add. Let's save all. Save this file. We'll check the output. I'm reloading the browser. Now I'm selecting pink. Click. See here the checkered radio value is 6. If you check, the pink ID is 6. If I select blue, click, is 3. Gray, we got 2. The ID value is 2. That's it.